What's going on, guys? It's Matt from the Trojan Brotherhood, and today I have a video that I'm really excited about because USC has been on a stretch of good news with the transfer portal, the Vegas Bowl win, coaching hires, and of course, most importantly, the GM hire, all of which are things that help this program tremendously going forward. But for me, the biggest change that could happen has still yet to happen, and frankly, it won't happen until we kick off in the Collie on August 30th. And that is the change in identity, and specifically the offensive identity, because that is something that we have lacked in the Lincoln Riley era, and by far the biggest weakness of these USC offenses so far in this era have not been a player or a position group, but it's been Lincoln Riley and not running the ball in crucial situations where he should be running the ball. And going into the 2025 season, everything is leading for us needing to be a run-first football team. From the way this roster is constructed, the conference we play in, and the history of how college football has been played. And when I say run-first team, I don't mean add 5 more carries to our RB1. No, I mean a full identity change in this team, because that is what your roster is built for. Taking a look at the roster, you have a loaded running back room with 3 guys who all have different skill sets. B. Jack is a physical back who will get you 5 yards every carry. He's so hard to tackle. Eli Sanders is your home run threat, who averaged 7 yards per carry last year, and Wayman Jordan Jr. is kind of a do-it-all back. And then you look at the offensive line, it's massive and it really has potential to be a solid physical unit, especially running the football. Page looks to be one of the better tackles in college football. Noah and Raymond both looked very impressive in the Las Vegas Bowl against an SEC defensive line. And you finally, after 2 years, bring in a real starting center in John Ray Reed, who I'm really excited about. And while the Pregnon loss does sting a lot, I do believe we'll add a starting left guard in the spring portal. And if we do, this really might be one of the best units we've had at SC in a while. And you pair that offensive line with the running back room, you have to run the ball. But maybe just as important a reason to run the ball is because of your quarterback. More than likely, Jaden Mayava is going to be your starting quarterback next year, and he is not a guy that you want to be throwing the ball 100 times a game because of his turnover issue, his inability to read a defense. But if there's one thing he can do well, it's throw a pretty ball to a receiver with separation, and that is all we need him to do. We need to make the job as easy as possible for him. And how do you do that for a quarterback? You run the football. It's a quarterback's best friend. And keep in mind, this is all up to one person, Lincoln Riley. But the philosophy for every single game we play, no matter what, it should be the same. We are USC. We're a powerhouse. We're a blue blood. Our identity should not be changing from game to game depending who we play. We need to play our way and make them adjust. So every time we take the field, the goal should be to run the football until they prove they can stop it. If they don't stop it, then we will win that way with 300 yards on the ground. If they do stop it, they bring a safety down, they sell out to stop the run, then guess what? That's why you have Jacoby Lane, Makai Lemon. They get single coverage one-on-one and they win a matchup, and Mayava will hit them in stride. That needs to be the identity of this USC football team. And with the roster they have constructed, a physical O-line, a deep running back room, 2 receivers that can win matchups, I think they can be very, very successful that way. And what gets me really excited when I think about this is you look at the teams like Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, who are run-first teams like I'm asking USC to be, and you look at them, what do they all have in common? They can't produce elite receivers, and it always hurts them because they don't have that guy to go to on third down when you're behind the sticks, when you need a one-on-one matchup, and they just can't get open. And for the most part, that's what separates them and why they can't really get over the hump. Besides that 23 Michigan team, over teams like Ohio State, those Nick Saban Alabama teams, those Georgia teams that had Brock Bowers. And that is always kind of what holds them back, because they're very good in the trenches, they run the ball a lot, but they don't really have that X factor at the position. We, on the other hand, are arguably wide receiver U, and that should never be a problem, including this year when you have Lemonade. So if we can run the ball like those teams, plus the weapons we have on the outside, it could really be scary for the Big Ten. But again, it all comes down to Lincoln Riley and if he wants to change the identity of this football team. I know all USC fans are in agreement with me on what this team needs to be, but it's all up to one guy, and really we'll see what happens this season. So of course I'm calling for this USC football team to run the ball, and I think we can be really, really effective off of play action if we run the ball that effectively. And here I actually have a few examples of where Mayava was really effective off of play action. So this is ideally what I want to see out of the USC offense this year. As you see, they're in the middle of the field. Let's say they picked up a few first downs running the football, and now the defense is aware of that. And as you see here, it's going to be play action, and they're going to fake the handoff and watch the safety right here, number 8. Because we had been running the football effectively, when he sees that fake handoff, he's thinking run. His eyes, he comes up, and watch Deuce Robinson right here. He's going to sneak right behind him, and Mayava is going to hit him perfectly in stride. And that is all because of the play fake. Because they had been running the ball successfully, the safety had to come up. And here's another play where Mayava was successful off a play fake. I think this is honestly when he's at his best. Even there, he didn't have the cleanest pocket, but he's able to make accurate throws too. And look who it is, Makai Lemon. You're going to see a lot of that next year. And one last example off of play fakes. Again, there he had absolutely no time. He still gives the receiver a chance to win a one-on-one matchup.